Formula Vs make their debut on the show, and where better to whet your appetite for V racing than the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. These fast and nimble machines will be given the ultimate test on a track known for taking no prisoners. In a category known for breeding stars and providing tight, tense racing, the Australian Formula V National Series is sure to warm up the cold and unforgiving Phillip Island circuit. We're just moments away from the start of race one, but first let's catch up with our pole sitter, Shane Hart.
It doesn't rain too much in Queensland, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. We've got the car working pretty well. Yesterday in qualifying was the first time on the track for us in the car, so I'm pretty happy to be on the front row, and we've just got to work hard and try and pick up the track a bit better, and I think we'll be there.
I think if we go out hard and get to the front, hopefully by the first quarter let the other guys scrap amongst themselves, a bit of clear track, and hopefully we can drive away, although it is very hard in this class.
Well, what an outstanding series. The Citywide Constructions Challenge Recruitment Formula V Series over 2 rounds. One here at the mighty Phillip Island, the second at Eastern Creek, and we're getting ready to go with race 2 on the card.
Right, thanks Grant, great to be here, great to be at Phillip Island, the most beautiful racetrack in the world, even when it's freezing cold and wet like it is now. We've got a great grid of 34 Formula Vs for this round. It's race 2 for the weekend, and we expect to see some fireworks in the wet.
It's always either freezing cold or boiling hot Phillip Island, but there's one thing about it, the drivers love coming here, and you'll see why in a few moments' time. The Formula V Series gets underway. A great category this. This has been the birth of many a great driving talent here in Australia, and overseas driver for that matter too. It teaches them all about what's required to get these cars around the circuit in a quick manner, and with this amount of water on the track, it's going to be a tough weekend.
It is, and look, I'll get it out of the way now. I'll say that Formula V's been a class of the past because we've been racing 40 years. It's also a class of today, and you can see how many cars are there, but it's going to be a class of the future because we've got increased numbers, and with the cost of motor racing, it's the place to be.
Well, on board with David Firth, you can see why. It's so much to think about when you're on board a Formula V. Yeah, sure, it's a category that grew up in Australia many years ago, but it hasn't lost its value as far as driver training and the breeding of young talent is concerned. Great battle up front too.
Right, well, the best thing about Formula V is just the fun of driving, and when you're in the rain like you are now, well, it's a lot more than fun. It's scary and exciting, and it's like in these conditions, like having a hose pointed at your face.
Stephen McFarlane in a great battle up front at the moment. Look at this, the 31 machine running wide of Daniel Reinhardt.
Daniel Reinhardt's closely being followed by Mal Asker, both top Victorian drivers. They're really showing the way on this track, as they should.
Around the back section of the circuit they go, and this is a very, very fast part of the track. You need to be millimetre perfect with your braking, especially in these machines.
Right, well, they're going past the hay shed now and about to approach Lukey Heights. Daniel Reinhardt ahead of another 2 Victorians. As they'll crest over the top of Lukey Heights, the rear of the car will go loose, but maybe they won't be going so fast in these conditions.
Good dice as they go down into MG turn. Always a great overtaking opportunity, or a bit difficult with these conditions. A lot of water still out on the track. Fortunately, it's not raining, but the interesting thing is, though, the track is going to dry out as this race progresses, assuming that we don't get any more rain. That's going to bring a lot of driver talent to the fore.
Well, that'll be a great relief for all of these guys out there. Daniel Reinhardt again in the lead, followed by Mal Asker, Phillip Kilworth, and I think the next of the interstate cars is Adam Proctor in the Swarthega Jacer.
Well, Daniel Reinhardt started to get a little bit of breathing space between he and second spot, but they've gathered him up as they come onto the start-finish straight, and slipstreaming in this category is absolutely paramount. That's the best overtaking opportunity, and have a look at this dice for second spot.
Right, Adam Proctor tries down the inside of Mal Asker. He's caught him. Adam must have got a good toe. Phillip Island is the place for a toe out of all the tracks.
Well, in fact, that was the battle for the race lead, because Reinhardt's been rounded up in inimitable style, as you do in Formula Vs, and he's gone from the race lead way back into 3rd spot.
Oh, talk about slipstreaming. I didn't see how Mal had just shot past Daniel. As I said, you could probably, down this straight here, you could probably get 2, maybe 3 toes, and that can really upset all the strategies that these drivers are probably thinking on every lap.
Adam Proctor looks up the inside in the Swarfiga-sponsored machine. He gets round Mal Asker in the MTA on-site constructions machine, who gets a little bit loose on the exit of the turn, and that's going to cost him time. But a nice, clean overtaking manoeuvre there by Adam Proctor.
Right, you can see how...
Oh, Firthy!
Oh, what a lose. Look, mate, this is the place not to be in the wet, I can tell you, because they're all fast corners. And it really does demonstrate driver skill. Adam Proctor's doing a great job. He was several places back on the grid, and he's just passed even 3 of the local drivers, and he's clearing out.
Well, that was a great gather there by David Firth. He was gone for all money. I thought he's heading off into the grass, and then he'll be pretty much history, but he was able to gather it all up. That was a very, very good recovery.
Oh, look, well, that's half the fun of driving these cars in the wet.
Fun.
Oh, well, exactly. Although when you get out of the cars at the end of the race, your knuckles are as wide as anything, I can guarantee you. But there's Ryan Simpson. He's the current in the red Jacer, Parramatta Smash Repairs Jacer, the current Australian champion, and he's got number 1 proudly on his car. I think this is a bit of a lesson for him down here in the wet. He's obviously surrounded by a lot of the locals, and he's 2 spots behind the top Queensland driver of Shane Hart. And Shane seems to be struggling in the wet here because he won the first race yesterday. But look at Adam Proctor go. Mal Asker just can't even get in his slipstream, and I think Adam's looking good for this race win.
That's a phenomenal lead.